what ended up happening is IVF. They implanted a fertilized egg of a different couple in her body. They didn't fertilize her eggs. They fertilized a different couple's eggs and then put it in her body, thinking that it was her fertilized eggs. And she carried the pregnancy to term thinking that it was her eggs that she had fertilized when it was someone else's. It is a truly insane, it's such an insane story. Like,
Christina Murray was finally living her lifelong dream of being a mother.
He was beautiful and perfect, but it was also very clear that something was wrong.
After a grueling round of IVF and 9 months of pregnancy, Murray, a white woman using a white sperm donor.
Speaking of Syria, did you see Al-Shara, Jolani's father, talking about how his son shouldn't do neoliberalism? I love Zelensky, okay? He is my favorite figure because every time he talks, every time there's another media hit, I am in awe of what's not fair is when you think I'm monolithizing the global South.
Gave birth in late 2023 to a baby boy with a much darker complexion.
My son's skin tone didn't match mine, but he was still my son.
What should have been a joyful first few months bonding with her son, who she loved and wanted to raise, was punctuated by constant fear and uncertainty.
I didn't know whether it was a sperm mix-up or whether he was someone else's.
Murray took a DNA test that confirmed her baby wasn't hers biologically. The clinic she'd used, Coastal Fertility Specialists, eventually determined that they'd mistakenly implanted another couple's embryo in Murray. The biological parents sued her for custody, and Murray chose to give the baby she loved up to them rather than fight.
And I walked out of the building with an empty stroller.
What the fuck, bro? This is one of the most insane stories. How the fuck does this happen?
And they left with my son.
And what was it like going home alone?
Probably the hardest thing I've ever done.
Murray now suing the clinic, which said in a statement to NBC News that it deeply regrets the error, calling it an further patients affected. The clinic also saying it's since conducted an in-depth review and put additional safeguards in place. Her story is rare but not unprecedented in the world of fertility treatment, which experts say is largely unregulated.
There's no reliable data or disclosures about how often IVF goes unjustifiably wrong. The U.S. regulates assisted reproduction far more lightly than other developed countries.
Even after the trauma of the last year and the legal process ahead, Christina, who's 38 and single.
Bro, I can't. They made this lady carry a pregnancy to term, dog. That is crazy. I can't even begin to imagine what that does to your psyche, dude. Like, she did not know that this was not her child until the child was born. And she probably never would have known, but the child was black. Like, that is crazy. And on top of that, she still treated the child as her own. It's her baby, bro. She carried that thing for 9 months. It's hers. What the f? I mean, I don't know. I feel like that's kind of, I don't know about that. I don't know if you could just be like, nah, this is my child. Like, I gave birth to it. Like, it's a weird situation because, like, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but also at the same time, it's like, it's not like this family didn't want to have a child. You know what I mean? They did. She was basically forced into surrogacy without consent. It's a very weird story. I don't get it. Is the kid half hers? No. What ended up happening is IVF. They implanted a fertilized egg of a different couple in her body. They didn't fertilize her eggs. They fertilized a different couple's eggs and then put it in her body, thinking that it was her fertilized eggs. And she carried the pregnancy to term thinking that it was her eggs that she had fertilized when it was someone else's. It is a truly insane, it's such an insane story. Like, this will be, I think, taught in colleges as like a very important medical malpractice suit. It will really like a philosophy 101 question. You know what I mean? You know, like the violinist to talk about the concept of like abortion, it reads as like a hypothetical that is, it's kind of like the trolley problem. Like those are all hypotheticals that philosophy students love using to describe certain different philosophies, different ways of thinking. This honestly is like a thought experiment. IVF should be illegal in my opinion. Yeah. I love when people wokely say IVF should be illegal. Yeah, I have the position of the most right-wing person that you've ever seen, but I'm saying it wokely. No, I don't think IVF should be illegal, dude. It should definitely be better regulated, though. What the f happened here?
Isn't giving up on her hopes of one day becoming a mother.
I have started the process over again with another clinic, and I'm hopeful that in the next year or two I can try again.
It's just heartbreaking, Priya. So what does the road look like for her going forward?
Yeah, so Christina's attorney has told me that he has successfully represented about 1,000 fertility patients against their clinics across the country over the last 10 years in a variety of misconduct cases, including ones like this that involve embryo mix-ups, but also in cases involving freezer malfunctions that have resulted in embryo completely destroyed. He even represented another California case that was quite unbelievable. You guys may have heard about it, involving two couples that in another fertility clinic mix-up ended up having each other's biological children, raised them unknowingly for a few months until they discovered it, and then they ended up swapping the infants back. And by the way, a lot of you are wondering what happened to Christina's embryos. I asked her about that, and she said that she's not sure if they're being frozen and stored in that fertility clinic or if perhaps they've been transferred to another patient, Savannah.
Wow. Well, that is just terrible.
Okay, I got a solution. The most ethical solution of all time. Are you ready? They put her fertilized embryos or her fertilized egg into someone else. Now there's another person that has her baby. Okay. You make that woman carry the pregnancy to term, and then you go, oopsie, sorry, we fucked up. Now she is a wronged party. Then you move on to the next person because obviously she has a fertilized egg out there. Okay. And you constantly keep the buck going. Okay. You constantly pass the buck, and inevitably you arrive at a person who wants to be a surrogate for money, who consents to it. Win, win, win. Because at the end of the day, you know, you already, it's like you transferred you basically transferred your pain, the pain of carrying a child to term, okay, carrying a pregnancy to term, onto the next person. Okay. It's basically, It's a what are those TikToks where they go like, oh, double or nothing? Like, oh, do you want the $10 or double it and pass it to the next person? That's basically what you're doing. It's like a baby hot potato. Surrogacy is super unethical. That friend that is too woke, sorry. I don't think so. I understand why people think that, but I don't think so. Like, I just don't think that, I don't personally think that like pregnancy is supposed to be a exclusively entirely natural process. You're about to get cooked on this. Wait, what's the unethical argument? I mean, you're literally paying someone in many circumstances to carry, like, you're rich people that have the money but don't want to be pregnant. Rich couples will go and find a person who is in dire finances. Like, that's the Steelman argument. Find a person and coerce them into basically carrying a pregnancy to term for them. And it's a damaging process for your body. Like, pregnancy is no joke. You know what I mean? You're doing a lot for 9 months. So that's the argument that people who are anti-surrogacy have. For me, on the other hand, I still am a firm and committed believer that all labor is selling your body, and that I think that people still have the capacity to consent in circumstances like this, even if it's not like enthusiastic consent. It's like sex work in general. It can be done in coercive conditions, or it can be done for your friend. You know what I mean? But I get it. I get why people say it's not good. I thought it did help a lot of women who had trouble getting pregnant naturally. Yes. Well, it's not about women who have trouble getting pregnant naturally. It's about women who can't carry a pregnancy to term. Like, You do IVF. You do IVF initially on your own body sometimes, you know what I mean? But like that lady probably did IVF because she must have had some issues getting pregnant naturally, but she still wanted to carry the pregnancy to term on her own. But yeah, there's a lot of complications that come along with a pregnancy. I don't think people understand that. Like, I think people think like, oh, you just kind of poop out the baby or something. Like, that's not how it goes. Like, it's a tremendous toll on your body. It can literally be deadly. There's also additional complications that come after giving birth, like postpartum depression. So it's understandable why a lot of people would say, oh, this is a inherently harmful and exploitative practice. But I still think that there are a bunch of like decent reasons for why someone could ethically consent to it happening. So I'm not in favor of like complete ban. Contraception is basically a treatment for pregnancy and is way less risky. Yes, it's true. Based on the same argument of risk involved in pregnancy, she should have the right to keep the child. That's why I said it's a unique predicament. It's a unique predicament because, like, I get why she would technically have claim over the child. She gave birth to him. This is a very easy case. It's on. I don't care about the legality of it, Michael from Pennsylvania. The fuck? She invested 9 months of her life in her body and gestating it. And when it was born, she was the mother of the birth certificate. They absolutely have no valid claim. What kind of... Dude, this is the problem with fucking lawyers, dude. Once a lawyer, always a lawyer. Look at this fucking debate pervert. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I get it. I understand. Like, I'm not... I think she still felt like she was a fucking asshole if she went through this, like, legal process of being like, no, this is my child. When genetically, clearly it is the child of this other couple that also wanted to have this child. So, like, they are also a wronged party in this process. She did the kind thing. This is resolving the situation. It's pretty clear she wants her own genetic child, which is why she gave up. Yeah, exactly. She's still also, I think, eligible for a lot of payment from this IVF clinic, like this fertility clinic, owes her a fuck ton. Jesus Christ. It's crazy, though. Oh, what a crazy situation. At least a refund? Fuck you mean a refund? She's only asking for $75K? Bro. Yo, this lady needs better lawyers. Oh my God. Are you fucking kidding me? Why is she Mother Teresa, dude? What the fuck? Why is this the nicest lady on the planet? She, one, didn't have to give up the baby that she gave birth to, okay? But she did that to be nice. And now she's only, what the fuck? Bro! Ask for a cool meal at least. Are you joking? What are you doing? You went through 9 months of pregnancy. 9 months. You carried a baby to birth. You carried a fucking fetus to completion. You gave birth to a child. 9 months of your life. Bro, that is beyond being kind. Like, she's asking for the payment. She's basically asking for a refund. That's crazy. She's asking for a refund on the previous process and money for the second one. That's literally all she's asking for. Art of the fucking deal, baby. What are you doing? They're going to lower that price. They're not going to turn around and be like, oh, $75K. Thank God we got off like bandits here. 9 months for $75K is above minimum wage. Stop complaining. She's suing for a refund and also for a new procedure. That's what she's suing for. They should give her a fucking punch card, dude. She did it. Subway, 10 foot longs. She purchased it, okay? A lifetime punch card. She can have as many children as she wants to at any fucking fertility clinic in the country, okay? Like, think about the goddamn emotional damage that was inflicted on this person for literally no reason. And she's out here being like, yeah, it's fine. As long as you give me money for for my as long as you give me a refund and money for the second one. Like the trauma that you endured. I'm stressing this because pregnancy is not an easy process. Okay? This is ironically something that I realize many men don't understand. I realize this because of my advocacy for abortion. Many people think, oh, you just get pregnant and then you just out. It's a super simple process. Like obviously they must think this. Otherwise, it would be insane for them to know how horrible of a process pregnancies can be for the carrier, and still they're an advocate for enforcing that on women. You know, I try to see the good in all people, and I assume that like most men are ignorant about this process, and that's why they simply are advocating for this incredibly misogynistic thing.
Thank you for your story. Appreciate it.
I've had 2 kids, brother. That's how it happens. Yeah, just one day, 9 months, easy peasy.
It's just unbelievable.
You can't even call that a mix-up.
No.
A mix-up's when you grab somebody's phone accidentally. Yeah. This is just unbelievable.
No, and then the fact that she may have embryos that are her embryos, and she does not know where they are right now.
To give back your baby, it just breaks your heart.
Crazy story, guys.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning.
Yo, I couldn't
on
believe
NBC.
this shit, dude. This shit is crazy.